Okay. Good morning to everyone. Welcome for today's pre-bid conference. Let us all stand for prayer.
Heavenly Father, as we gather today for our procurement activity, allow us to glorify you and give you thanks for the gift of life and wisdom. Thank you for allowing our partners in the construction industry to participate in this activity and giving us the opportunity to work with them. Send your Holy Spirit to guide us as we go on with this activity, removing all doubts and malice as we proceed to work for an orderly and successful procurement activity. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
May I ask the BACSEC for today's meeting for the acknowledgement of the attendees.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Mr. Chairman, including our social media viewers. For today's private conference, for 23BK0125, repair maintenance of DILG building, Bureau of Fire Protection, Cabarroguis Fire Station Main Building, Barracks, Zamora, Cabarroguis, Quirino. We have with us the following present. From the back members, Ferdinand Jingo Eating, Alan Escamelio, Maylite Aliazar, Ruben Aldana. From the back secretariat, Brenda Carbonell and Seyus Jan Mabunga. From the technical working group, Rochelle Anyuhenyo, Efren Garingan, and Donna Bagabay. From our observers and visitors, from the COA, Mr. Pedro Mabun Jr., we have also invited the President of the Philippine Contractors Association, Mr. Wilfredo Dicena, and the Executive Director of the Philippine Green Building Council, Ms. Maria Ana Tongol. From the record, Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now proceed to our business for the day, the discussion, clarification, explanation, and all other matters, the eligibility requirements, the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid.
Once again, good morning. Today is August 11, 2023, and we're here to conduct private conference to discuss pertinent details for the procurement of one infra project funded under JAA FY 2023. Name of project, Repair Maintenance of DILG Building, Bureau of Fire Protection, Cabarroguis Fire Station, Main Building, Barracks. Contract ID 23BK0125, location Zamora, Cabarroguis, Quirino. Scope of works, repair maintenance of building. Approved budget for the contract 500,000 pesos. Project duration 44 calendar days. Cost of bidding documents 500 pesos. Pickup license category Trade E, size range small A. This private conference is to discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, the eligibility requirements and the technical and financial component of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the private conference. It is conducted not earlier than 7 calendar days from the posting of invitation to bid and at least 12 calendar days before the deadline of submission of bids. A supplemental or bid bulletin is issued to answer questions or requests for clarifications or interpretation, and upon BAC's initiative to clarify or modify any provisions of the bidding documents. It is posted in the PhilJEPS and DPWH websites and at our bulletin board at least 7 calendar days before the deadline of bid submission. It is the duty of the prospective bidders to always check the websites for any issued bulletins. In the receipt and opening of bids, bids submitted should be on the date, time, and either at its physical address or through online submission specified in the advertisement through a single stage two envelope system. Bid should be valid for a period not exceeding 120 calendar days from the date of the opening of bids. The first envelope must contain the eligibility requirements and the technical component, and the second envelope must contain the financial component. In the sealing and marking of bids, enclose the original eligibility and technical documents in one sealed envelope marked original technical component, and the other original financial component in another sealed envelope marked original financial component. Same will be done with the copies, copy number 1 and copy number 2. Seal both in an outer envelope marked original bid. The original technical and financial envelopes and the copy envelope shall be contained in one main envelope. The original and copies shall be typed or written in ink and shall be signed by the bidder or its duly authorized representative. All envelopes shall have the required information, the name of the contract to be bid, name and address of the bidder, recipient or the procuring entity, and a warning, do not open before the specified time and date. Same will be done with electronically submitted bids. Bids must be encrypted and password protected. The electronic submission and receipt of bids is governed by GPPB Resolution Number 9, Series of 2020. It uses a two-factor security procedure consisting of an archive format compression and password protection to ensure the security, integrity, and confidentiality of the bids submitted. It allows a password-protected bidding documents on opening date and time. The password for accessing the file will be disclosed by the bidder only during the actual opening, which may be done in person or face-to-face through video conferencing, webcasting, or similar technology. It is capable of generating an audit trail of transactions to ensure the security, integrity, and authenticity of bid submissions. In the sealing and marking of bids, unsealed or unmarked bid envelopes will be rejected, while improperly sealed and marked bid envelopes will be accepted. Same will be done for electronically submitted bids. Not compressed and password protected will be rejected, while improperly compressed and password protected will be accepted, provided that the bidder or its duly authorized representative shall acknowledge such condition of the bid as submitted. The bank shall assume no responsibility for the misplacement of the contents of the improperly sealed or marked bid or for its premature opening. Bids submitted after the deadline shall not be accepted. For bids submitted electronically, the bank secretariat shall generate a bid receipt page for the official time of submission, which can be saved or printed by the bidder upon receipt of the first and the second envelope. All bids may be modified before the deadline of submission of bids. A letter of withdrawal must be received prior to the deadline for submission and receipt of bids. A withdrawing bidder is not allowed to submit another bid. For bids withdrawn within the interval between the deadline and the expiration of bid validity, the bid security shall be forfeited. In case the submitted bids cannot be opened as scheduled due to justifiable reasons, the bank shall take custody of the said bids and reschedule the opening on the next working day or at the soonest possible time through the issuance of a notice of postponement to be posted in the PhilJEP's website and at the DPWH website. In the opening and preliminary examination of bids, the bank shall open the bids in public immediately after the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. In the opening of the first envelope, checking the presence or absence of the submitted documents against a checklist of required documents using a non-discretionary pass or fail criterion. In the opening of the second envelopes, only second envelopes of bidders whose first envelope was rated pass will be opened. Bids with missing, incomplete, or patently insufficient and or bid price exceeding the ABC shall be rated failed. The same will be applied for an electronic copy that cannot be opened or is corrupted shall be considered non-responsive and thus automatically disqualified. Only bidders whose both first and second envelopes were rated pass will be ranked. In the opening and evaluation of the first envelope, it must contain the eligibility requirements such as the legal, financial, and technical, its bid security, the technical specifications, and the omnibus turn-off statement. For the Class A documents under legal, must be the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration Certificate from SEC, DTI, or CDA, mayor or business permit, and the tax clearance. For the technical, the statement of all ongoing contracts and the statement of single largest completed contract. And for the financial, the net financial contracting capacity, or its committed line of credit, and the audited financial statement is stamp received by the BIR. Under the Class B document is a valid pickup license or special pickup license for JV, and a registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and the opening of bids. For the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership, all bidders shall upload and maintain in PhilJEP's current and updated file of the following Class A eligibility documents under Section 23.1A and 24.1A. Such as the registration certificate, the mayor or the business permit, the tax clearance, pickup license and registration, and the audited financial statement. For the business or the mayor's permit, a recently expired business or mayor's permit shall be accepted together with the official receipt as proof that the bidder has applied for renewal within the period prescribed by the concerned LGU. However, the renewed permit shall be submitted as a post-qualification requirement in accordance with Section 34.2 of the 2016 IRR of RA 9184. For the tax clearance, submission of BIR receipt for renewal of tax clearance will not suffice in lieu of a valid tax clearance requirement, since substitution is not allowed under Section 34.2 of the IRR of RA 9184. Submission of provisionary tax clearance issued by the BIR for bidding purposes is not acceptable form of tax clearance, per GPPB Resolution Number 1, Series of 2014. For the single largest calculated contract, the SLCC completed shall be similar to the contract to be bid or has the same major categories of work. The SLCC value should be at least 50% of the ABC to be bid upon adjustment to current prices using the PSA Consumer Price Indices. Contractors under small a and small b categories without similar experience on the contract may participate if the cost of the contract to bid is not more than the allowable range of contract cost of their registration. For the statement of all ongoing contracts, a statement of the bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. For the pickup license, temporary pickup license shall not be accepted as an eligibility or documentary requirement in lieu of a valid pickup license. For the audited financial statement showing, among others, the bidder's total and current assets and liabilities is stamp received by the BIR or its duly accredited and authorized institutions for the preceding calendar year, which should not be earlier than 2 years from the date of bid submission. For the net financial contracting capacity, then FCC value should be at least equal to the ABC to be bid. It is computed as the current assets minus the current liabilities multiplied by the factor K minus the value of all outstanding or uncompleted portions of the projects under ongoing contracts, including awarded contracts yet to be started, coinciding with the contract to be bid. The constant factor K is set at 15 regardless of contract duration. For the eligibility requirements under Class B is the requirement for the joint ventures. A valid pickup license or special pickup license for JV and registration for the type and cost of the contract to be bid should be valid at the time of the deadline for the submission and receipt of bid. All co-venturers shall submit their legal documents, while any of the co-venturers shall submit technical and financial documents. Each partner of the joint venture shall submit the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 IRR of RA 9184. For the bid security, Bidders must submit bid security to guarantee that the successful bidder shall within 10 calendar days from the receipt of the notice of award enter into contract with the procuring entity and furnish the performance security required. Only one form of bid security among the allowed forms is required to be submitted by the participating bidders. May it be cash or cashier's check, bank guarantee, draft or revocable letter of credit, or a surety bond callable upon demand, accompanied by certification from the Insurance Commission, or the bid securing declaration. For the project requirements, it must contain the following: the organizational chart for the contract to be bid, the list of contractors' personnel, such as the project manager, project engineer, materials engineer, and the foreman, to be assigned to the contract to be bid with their complete qualification and experience data, and the list of contractors' major equipment units which are owned, leased, and/or under purchase agreement, supported by proof of ownership or certification of availability of equipment from the equipment lessor or vendor for the duration of the project. For the revised Omnibus Sworn Statement Form, Statement Number 3 was revised and the addition of Statement Number 10, which states that in case advance payment was made or given, failure to perform or deliver any of the obligations and undertakings in the contract shall be sufficient ground to constitute criminal liability for swindling or the commission of fraud with unfaithfulness or abuse of confidence through misappropriating or converting any payment received by a person or entity under an obligation involving the duty to deliver certain goods or services to the prejudice of the public and the government of the Philippines pursuant to Article 315 of Act Number 3815, Series of 1930 as amended, or the revised Penal Code. For the contents of the second envelope, first is the financial bid form, including bid prices and bill of quantities, as well as applicable price schedules and other documents required in the bidding documents. In the detailed evaluation of bids, its purpose is to determine the lowest calculated bid by establishing correct calculated prices of bids and ranking calculated total bid prices from lowest to highest. A non-discretionary criterion shall be used, which shall include consideration of completeness of bids and minor arithmetical corrections. Results shall be contained in the abstract of bids as calculated. Placing no price is considered as non-responsive, while specifying a zero or dash means it is offered for free. And in case of discrepancies, bid price in figures versus bid price in words shall prevail. The total price per item versus unit price for the item multiplied by its quantity, the latter shall prevail. The stated total price versus the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. Unit cost and the detailed estimate versus unit cost and the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. No contact rule, which means prohibition on communication with bidders from bid evaluation until award of the contract. In the conduct of post-qualification, its purpose is to determine whether the lowest calculated bid complies with and is responsive to all requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents to be declared the lowest calculated and responsive bid. A non-discretionary pass or fail criterion shall be used to verify, validate, and ascertain all statements and documents submitted by the lowest calculated bid. For the award of the contract shall be awarded to the bidder with the lowest calculated responsive bid at its submitted price or total calculated bid price, whichever is lower. The BAC shall notify all other bidders of its recommendation to hope of award of contract to LCRB within 3 calendar days from the issuance of the resolution recommending award. The hope shall have at most 15 calendar days to decide whether or not to approve or disapprove said recommendation. Interested bidders may obtain further information from the Procurement Unit, DPWH-Quirino District Engineering Office, and inspect the bidding documents during weekdays from August 3 to August 23, 2023. A complete set of bidding documents may be acquired by interested bidders from August 3 at our office upon payment of an applicable fee. Deadline for the submission of bids, August 23, 2023, not later than 10 a.m. Number of bid proposals to be submitted, 1 original and 2 duplicate copies. For the place of submission of bids for manual submission at Procurement Unit, DPWH-Quirino District Engineering Office, Cabarroguis, Quirino, and for electronic submission at electronicbids_Quirino at dpwh.gov.ph. For further information, please refer to Engineer Brenda B. Carbonell, Officer in Charge, Procurement Unit, with CP number 0927-770-3016, or email us at carbonell.brenda@dpwh.gov.ph. Thank you.
For 23BK0125, repair and maintenance of DILG Building, Bureau of Fire Protection, Cabarroguis Fire Station, Main Building, Barracks, Zamora, Cabarroguis, Quirino, with an appropriation of 500,000. Total project duration is 44 calendar days. For other general requirements, B.5, project billboard, signboard, 2 each. For B.7, occupational safety and health program, 1 lump sum. B.9, mobilization, demobilization, 1 lump sum. For earthworks, 8011, removal of structures and obstruction, 1 lump sum. For plain and reinforced concrete works, 9001C6, structural concrete beams, girders, A, 28 days, 1 cubic meter. For 9021A, reinforcing steel deformed, grade 40, 190.8 kilograms. For 9032, formworks and false works, 6 square meters. For finishing, 10019, storm drainage and downspout, 1 lump sum. 1003 1B1, ceiling, 4.5 mm metal frame, marine plywood, 85.3 square meters. For doors, window glass glazings, 10062, flush door, 2.1 square meter. 10081B, aluminum glass windows casement type, 14 square meters. For 10141A1, pre-painted metal sheets below 0.427 mm corrugated type, short span, 85.3 square meter. 10132A2, fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 26, flashing, 11.5 linear meter. 10132B1, fabricated metal roofing accessory, gauge 24, gutters, 11.5 linear meter. 10271, cement plaster, 28.8 square meter. 10462A1, CHB non-load bearing including reinforcing steel, 100 mm, 14 square meters. For 10472A, structural steel trusses, 472.46 kilograms. 10472B, structural steel purlins, 179.45 kilograms. 10475, metal structure accessories, steel plates, 10 each. 10477A, metal structure accessories, bolts, 3 kilograms. And
So there is none. Gentle reminder for the opening of bids of REQ. Mamaya. So, this PREVID is now adjourned.